Welcome to Module 2 of Successful Presentation. This module is about the formula. I've been promising the formula throughout the whole first module, and now you're going to learn it. So, in Module 1, we talked about three main things. We talked about how fear is very natural and very human, but confuses the issues and causes chaos. So I introduced the Keith Code rule, which is fear inhibits execution. By controlling our fear, we can begin to execute on multiple levels. I then moved to a sense of public speaking as storytelling. And that was important because it suggests that we're going to craft our public speech in terms of a beginning, a middle, and an end. And we're going to weave through that a main point that rides along the whole time. Then, finally, I insisted that the storyteller was part of the story. And I think that's important because it means we have to own our work. We can't let the PowerPoint behind us own the work. We can't let the handout in front of us own the work. And we certainly can't try and let someone else's words own our work. So those 3 points were, in a sense, the direction of the whole first module. In the second module, I want to take you through the formula. I'm going to break down every element of the formula into different lessons. The formula is very simple, but it's not easy. This strikes me as a really important point. The formula is simple because it's a very basic structure. It's built on threes: beginning, middle, and end, 3 subpoints under each of those, and maybe 3 subpoints under each of those. And I think in threes, and I built this formula out of threes because I can only remember 3 things at a time. I get worried if there are 4, or if sometimes there's 4 and sometimes there's 6. I get lost in my own mind. So the formula keeps things simple, but it's not easy. It's just a structure for you to concentrate on while you're delivering your speech. And that's so important because it allows you clarity, it allows you not to be afraid, and it allows you to go forward with the next point. Even if the material is complicated, you can rely on the threefold structure to get you through. So the structure works in terms of a 3x3 grid. And in the structure, the beginning is the introduction, the middle is the content, and the ending is the conclusion. And each part of those 3 pieces has 3 pieces within it. So the introduction has the salutation, the review of structure, and the one compelling point. The content, which is modular, you could have more modules or fewer, has a topic, it has data, and it has analysis. And finally, the conclusion has a summation, it has a discussion, and in the end, it has a thank you section. Each of the 3x3 points you can remember in your mind like a 3x3 window pane, or like a grid. And in that way, it connects back to Quentin's lessons about the window pane affording clarity, and to Dave's about the organization of the page. But what is so important about the formula is that it's something that allows you to write, to memorize, and to speak. It's a structure so that the page is never blank. You can write introduction and then fill in all the elements. Then you can begin to work with those elements. You can remember because you always have to think in threes. And finally, when you get very nervous, you can concentrate on it and you can say, where am I in the structure? I'm now at the conclusion. I can make my way through. 3x3 is simple, but not easy. So I promise you this, the formula works. When that governor's aide came up to me in Beijing and said, you have 2 days to write a presentation, go ahead. First, I was very nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do. But then I said, relax. I took out my little notebook here. Actually, it's this very notebook. I took out this little notebook. I wrote down the formula, introduction, content, conclusion. And then I wrote salutation, and I began. I drafted it, and it worked like magic.